want you to imagine for a moment a child that from the time this child is brought into this world, everyone tells them how awesome they are, how beautiful they are, how perfect they are. And as this child grows, everybody is so enamored with this kid that they bend to their will. No matter what they say, it's funny and everybody laughs. No matter what they do, it is entertaining and everybody claps. And they go through life and everybody goes out of their way to make sure that this child is never exposed to the truth, that they're actually an idiot and the things that they do are annoying, not entertaining at all. Now, let's imagine that this child never gets to hear the truth until they're around 25, 30 years old. What kind of person do you think that child might be? See, when you're playing this game, one of the first questions that you would probably want the answer to is, what sex is this child? Because if it's a boy, you would be dealing with quite a jackass by the time that this dude reaches 25, 30 years old. And most boys, I would argue, maybe none, have an experience like this, because boys get to experience the truth about their existence almost as soon as they're exposed to other little boys. We work that shit out. And whether you're on the low end of the totem pole and you're going to be picking berries, or if you're a warrior that's going to be frontline, we work it out. Nobody tells boys lies about their abilities, except for maybe their mother. Society doesn't lie to boys. Society tells boys right off the bat, you got work to do. And most likely you're never going to measure up. And that's just the truth. That's the truth. We have a burden of performance because there's a lot of things that come with being a boy, a man. But nobody really gives us any instruction in this. But if this example, if this story, if this child that we're speaking of is a girl, then you wouldn't really be surprised. Because that is a reality for most girls. When I was a younger man, it was usually the case for girls that were attractive enough to hot. But now we have women like Tess Holliday and women like her with a big is beautiful movement and beautiful at any size and all of the delusional supportive bullshit that we have. This is pretty much across the board now. Because men are so thirsty and so desperate to have contact with a female, you got guys smashing these women out that they would not dare be seen in public, boosting their confidence and making them believe that they have worth more than just laying on their back. And that's a problem that we have in our society, because most girls grow up with the Disney princess mantra, and most boys submit to this. And over the decades, we've had this reversal of roles where boys have been almost forced to become feminine so that girls could become powerful. That's the only way that can happen. When you enter a space that's predominantly male and the deck is really stacked, the only way that you can really vault yourself is to step on the back of a man. Just simple reference, if you're entering a male workforce for a job that's been historically male, a man has to lose his job for a woman to have it. And I'm not arguing against women in the workforce. If she's capable, if she's more qualified than a man is, then absolutely she should have the job. But she should not be given a job because she's a woman any more than a black person should be given a job because of the color of their skin. This is not the 1950s and shit's different. But we have these victim mentalities that keep people rich. As long as people can believe that they're oppressed, then there's the bad guys. And right now it's men. Right now it's men. Since the sexual revolution, the ease of divorce, birth control pill, all of the wonderful things that we've gotten since this revolution, the family, the culture, the fabric of America has been eroding. And you can blame several different societal constructs as to why this has happened. But the bottom line is they have gotten rid of the leaders. They've gotten rid of the men. Male leadership is no longer a thing. As a matter of fact, they found a way to make men trying to lead, they found a way to make it toxic. And the craziest part about it is, at the same time they deem it toxic, feminists have embraced this toxicity and waved the girl power flag. It's insane. But we've accepted it and we've propagated it. And today, what I see as a man is the biggest problem that we have as men, as a country, is a lack of male leadership. And with the lack of male leadership means there is an increase in female leadership, if you will. And look at where that's led us. When women raise boys, inevitably they're going to become feminine. Because generally, women are going to make that boy into what they feel like the perfect little man is for them. And that's one of the reasons why I tell guys, stay away from single mothers. Because very few single mothers are really responsible as women, as mothers. A lot of times these kids are either traps or props. How many single moms have you seen project their sons as these beautiful little dudes all the way up to the point where they're married and even after? That relationship is almost incestuous. And women will argue, oh, I'm putting all my interest in my stuff in my son. Those relationships to men that are involved is like sharing the woman with another man. You see, because these women know that men are going to come and go. They understand this. The father of the child, Exfield, why would you not? They know this. And so the kid will always come first. And I'm not saying that the kid shouldn't come first, but not before the man, not before the man that's going to be there after the kid leaves. There should be a harmony. There should be a synergy there, but there's very seldom that. I would never encourage a man to cuck himself to take care of another man's child, but if that's the case, you got to pay attention to what you see. There is an emotional incest with mothers and their sons that is alarming when you see it. A lot of these women treat their sons the way that they should be treating the men in their lives. And they seek out the validation, the acceptance, and the love that they should be seeking out in men from their boys. And that's what that's what creates this mama's boy attachment. Mom has got control over the boy's emotions, and he's emotional. And if mom doesn't approve of the girl that he's with, she'll run her off. And she'll wait and wait and wait until a girl comes along that she can control. This is a thing that I've watched happen over and over again with men and boys in my life. And I didn't understand it until I understood it. So when you've got single mothers raising little boys, what you get is feminine men that are caught in their emotions. I tell my guys, do not allow yourself to become emotionally invested in a woman. And that sounds shallow, but it's not. Emotions come and go. And to make decisions, to be reactionary based off of the way you feel, that's the reason why most people are in the hell that they live in. I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like eating correctly. I don't feel like dealing with this problem. And so they don't. And life gets exponentially worse for them because they choose to base shit off of feelings. And men today, You can see it in the streets with the rioting and over emotional reaction to whatever it is that makes you feel like you need to take action. The action of the little boys that are in the street is fucking feminine. Screaming, tearing shit up, that's feminine. Men, real men, warriors, have a better strategy than to make targets of themselves and be destructive for no purpose other than to be destructive. And to be emotional about something that you have no control over is very, very, very vaginal. Men shouldn't do that. Boys shouldn't do that. A lot of guys that are in this manosphere that are making content that's deemed red pill, there's some good advice. And I'm not here to smash anybody. Everybody's got what they like. But all of the prescription of pills, red pill, blue pill, purple pill, black pill, and all this sectioning off and all this stuff, to me is horse shit. It's stupid. Just like calling yourself an alpha male or considering yourself to be high value. You don't get to make that decision about yourself. You can believe it. You can believe it. But true alphas, they just show up. They don't have to talk. They don't have to tell you about it. They don't have to try to convince you that that's what they are. That's just what it is. When alphas come around, everything else moves out of the way. And when you see a true alpha enter the room, that person would never qualify themselves as that. But all the guys that say that that's where they are, they'll show you who he is because they will get the fuck out of that guy's way. And it doesn't matter what metric you stick on it. 6'5", but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Alpha males, the ones that are externally trying to get validated with their alphaness, are fucking clowns. Those are some insecure dudes. And what those dudes are doing is they're trying to overcompensate for the weakness that they're hoping nobody sees. It's feminine. It's feminine. Instead of putting on a mask and hiding your weakness, instead of putting on makeup to hide how ugly you are, men step two. Men step two. That's what a man does. And a man doesn't base things on his emotions, because your emotions are going to change from moment to moment, sometimes faster than that. You deal with logic. You deal with logic and strategy is what you do. See, we always know what's best for us. But we've been taught to resist that, to deny it. To go forward anyway towards the thing that instinctively somewhere we know is bad. That's why you hear so many times in the aftermath, man, I should have known. Well, you did know. You did know. Things are different now. Things are very different. And to me, I use the term red pill because red pill is just about being aware. I don't consider men who believe in traditional values and have hope for a real relationship, I don't consider them blue pill simps. That's a talking point for blue pill simps, I believe. Guys that want to act like act like they've achieved some great point of being free of intimacy with women on any meaningful level, that's fucking silly. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's just as dumb as trying to paint all women as being trash because the women that you've chosen are trash. The problem always isn't what happens to you, it's how you see it and how you brought it to you. Take ownership of your own stuff. Take ownership of the people that you bring into your life that you trusted, that you believed in. And if it doesn't go the way you thought it was, accept that. They fooled you. A lot of times, that's what happens. No one's going to tell you how fucked up they are off the top. Off the muscle, they're going to try to impress you. A lot of times, they're going to try to mirror what you tell them that you want, that you expect, which is a mistake. It's a big mistake. See, when people are crafty, when people are shady, they listen. They're conniving. They're like snakes. So when you're engaging with someone and you have a high boundary as a man, you don't want a woman with a high body count, don't tell her that, because then she's going to hide bodies. Be neutral. It's none of your business until it's your business. Let her tell you. Let her tell you. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's wise to leave the door open. Just crack it. Because women are easily led. The Bible tells you that story. All you got to do is crack the door and the snake will pick its head out. And once it peeks its head out, you know what you see. You know what you see. Let her tell you who she is. Don't design it. See, we have gotten to a point where we want to be like the women were. And that's the funniest part to me as an old man, is listening to men sound like women from the 90s. You don't understand what I'm saying? I'm going to give you some crumbs that lead to a rabbit hole. And once you understand this, you just understand that you simply have to reverse the game. I believe it was in 2004, Greg Behrendt wrote a book called He's Just Not That Into You. And I remember that book because a female that I was dealing with, I was on my purpose. I was on my grind. I had just gotten released from my extended vacation, and I had a purpose in life. And chasing the sleeve was not number one on my priority list. And so this girl came to the conclusion that because I wasn't sending her email after email and calling her over and over again, that I wasn't interested in her. And she was wrong. I was, but I was just trying to get my hustle on. And she put me on to this book that she told me that she was reading this book, and it said that if a man didn't do this, this, and this, that he wasn't interested. And that piqued my curiosity. And so I went to the bookstore and I started flipping through this book, and I started to read these things. And what this guy did was basically told women that if a man wasn't putting forth the effort, if he didn't make sure that she knew that she was the only point of focus, that the man was not interested and that his interest was elsewhere, most likely with another woman. And that the woman should feel valuable because she's a precious, valuable jewel and all of this bullshit that we have today. And women loved it. Fucking loved it. And from that point forward, the shift has been enormous. It's been enormous. So much so that now men are saying the same things as women were saying in this book. I thought that we were doing this, that, and the other, and all of a sudden this happened. The same fucking story. Same story. Women didn't stop telling it because Tommy Lauren just said the same thing. But in their freedom, in their my body, my choice revolution, in the sexual revolution, all that has been accomplished is now the divide couldn't be greater. Now men are saying the same thing that women were saying to Mr. Behrendt that made him write that book that shook the country and changed the dynamic. Now as a man, it's very, very, very simple. Sometimes it's painful, but it's very, very simple to find out whether you have a needle or you're just picking up hay. All you got to do is use the strategy that Behrendt laid out for the women. If she's not doing the work to show you, to prove to you, to earn your trust, your respect, and your entry into your kingdom, fuck her. She's not worth it. Because she is doing that for someone else. Or she's waiting for the guy that she feels is valuable enough to do so. Never, ever, ever give a woman the benefit of the doubt. Doubt the benefit of the woman. If you can learn how to do this, you'll be stronger than most men. When you can stop playing the submissive role, stop jumping through hoops to attain something that this woman is giving away freely to men, when you can realize that you are not chasing valuable jewels, when you're chasing someone who can just turn away and go give themselves to someone else. When you realize this, when you can take the red pill information and apply it to your life changes dramatically. Dramatically. This is the thing. If she's not breaking her ass to make you understand that she's worthy of you picking her, she's not. How you feel, what you want, does not matter. Do not base your decisions, your action, your life off of what someone tells you or sells you. They will show it to you. And the moment somebody shows you who they are, believe it the first time. That right there, my friends, will make you uncommon